welcome to the Ormtec training facility. Today on this video we're just going to give you a tour of the place so you'll have an idea of what you need to do, once you start hiring some first year guys to start their process of understanding their job as far as training with the panel, with the equipment, with kind of how to install it, how it works and stuff like that. So today we're going to give you a tour of that, just so you can see what is available here at the Ormtec warehouse. Or you might be by a facility that's outside of the state. We have a couple of them, and as a team you can get together and figure out how you want to set that up so that you can actually accomplish what a first year tech needs to do to get them started, to get them finished, and get them ready to install for the summer. So come with me and we'll go check it out. All right, guys. So once you hire a guy and he starts coming to training, there are probably 3 corporate classes that he actually needs to start off with. Corporate training number 1, corporate training number 2, and corporate training number 3. We are actually in corporate training number 1 here at the Ormtec facility. And as you can see, we just have a sky panel on the wall. In corporate training 1, we are going to go over and teach first year techs how to navigate through this panel. Arm it, disarm it, change codes, how to use the interface, stuff that the customer is going to need to learn. Then we're going to dive into programming, okay? We're actually going to walk every tech through programming each piece of equipment that we program into zones. Zones, keypads, key fobs, and stuff like that. So they'll have a good understanding of how this thing programs. Are they going to be ready to do this? No, but they're going to see how easy it is, and that if they do repetition and they learn it, they're going to be able to pick this up as far as programming and stuff like that. So corporate training 1, that's what it goes over. Let's walk over to corporate training number 2. All right, so welcome to corporate training number 2. As you can see, we have a hardwired can right here with a board, an existing alarm system in it. As you can see, we have some wires that are hooked up here. We have a couple switches down here, motion detected, and a sky panel. So, we're not going into great details. We're just covering the basic concepts of how to actually take over a hardwired system, how to use the takeover module, how to add the add power supply. As you can see, we got a couple different transformers down here. One for the sky panel, we got one for the add power supply. So basically, they're just gonna do just a simple basic walkthrough on how to take over a hardwired system, how it works, what they're looking for, what they need to do. We know that in real life, it's a little bit more difficult, but like I said, it's a basic class, kind of an introduction to say, hey, this isn't too hard. I can probably figure this out and stuff like that. But they come, they learn, they like it. The more that they come and do training, the more solidified they are, and they get ready for the summer. So this is corporate training number 2. It's basic hardwired stuff, take module, add power supply, a few other little details here and there. But once they're done with corporate training number 2, the next class we're going to take is corporate number 3. So let's walk over to that classroom and we'll review it. All right, so this is corporate number 3 at the Ormtec warehouse. Basically what we're going to do in this class is a lot of it is pretty much lecture. There is some hands-on with the CT100 thermostat. The other 2 classes did a lot of hands-on and stuff like that, but this one, Jeff Durfee's going to go over about an hour of instruction about introducing the CT100. We're going to talk about the terminals, we're going to talk about heat pumps, conventional systems, kind of how the wiring works, what we're looking for, how to navigate through the CT100. So that's about an hour of instruction. The rest of it's going to be all information on the home automation devices. You have your cameras, you have your garage door opener, you have your Space Monkey, you have your door locks and stuff like that. So it's kind of more like, hey, this is how it works, this is what it is, this is how it is compatible with the panel. We do go into a little bit of online training and stuff like that, but a lot of our mini classes that we're going to be teaching are going to be based around a lot of the home automation devices and stuff like that. So corporate number 3, here it's in our theater room. We have a big screen TV up there. We do a PowerPoint, stuff like that. So a lot of times we get guys to fall asleep, but we'll hit them with a can of pop or something like that. We do have some Red Bulls to keep them awake, but so you've seen Corporate 1, Corporate 2, and Corporate 3. They're probably about 2 hours each when they're taught here. Like I said, you know, if you're doing your corporate trainings at another facility, get with your regional, get with other head techs, and figure out how you can actually accomplish this. We can get you the curriculum, we can get you the PowerPoints that are going to help you. Now we're going to move on to what we call our mini classes, which are going to be required. So let's move to the first mini class. All right, guys, this is called our HVAC room. Okay, this is where Jeff Durfee does a mini class on the CT100 and HVAC systems. Okay, this is outside of Corporate 3. As you can see, some of the cool things that we have here is these are actually not hooked up to an HVAC unit. Basically, we have HVAC wire that hooks into here and here. So basically, they come in, they pull this one off, and then they wire this one up, just so that they can kind of see how the wires transfer over. Okay. We also have a heat pump in here. There are a couple areas that do have heat pumps or HVAC systems. He kind of gets with the head techs or even experienced guys that they want, or even with you, to go in, and he'll show you kind of where the control boards are, what fuses look like, how to blow fuses, how to fix fuses, give you information on that, which is very, very vital when you're out there. Some of the steps that need to take place, probably the most important one is to power the system down when you're changing that thermostat out. But he goes over all that with you. This is a class that your head tech will want to schedule with Jeff Durfee to come down here for an hour and actually do this class. We actually will travel to other facilities up in Canada, up in Rexburg, Minnesota, Florida, to actually do some HVAC training as well. So look for those times. We'll send those dates out and stuff like that. But this is Jeff Durfee's mini class that is required on HVAC. All right, guys, welcome to our next mini class. In this classroom, we're going to talk about networking, which is dealing with the customer's Wi-Fi, hooking it to the panel, understanding how it works and what it works with. Also, we're going to go into our cameras. We have the outdoor camera, we have the indoor camera, and we have the doorbell camera, okay? So we're going to talk about how they work, how you add them in, how you install them and stuff like that, the do's and the don'ts or whatever, but we're going to go through the basic stuff. If you look over on this wall right here, as you can see, we have doorbells set up, and this is pretty basic here. So guys are going to be able to look and see, hey, this is what a transformer looks like, high voltage, low voltage. This is how it hooks into the doorbell chime, and then they have it right here. So they can basically learn everything they need to right here in the house, and then go apply it in the customer's house. So we're just going to give them the basic knowledge of a lot of these things. You know, some of the key things with cameras is the customer's Wi-Fi. Upload speed is important, and the connection, the wireless connection, is also important. 70% is the minimum we want to see. We want to see it between 70 and 100%. And that's something that we really need to key on and let customers know. But we're going to go into about an hour worth of instruction here about these cameras. Spend a lot of time, especially on these doorbell cameras, and you know how to run the test and how to run the test to configure the cameras with the customer's Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So this will be a good class for guys to take, and we'll come up with the dates and the times. We'll probably only do like 5 or 6 people at a time, so they're going to be small, but they are going to be taught on a regular basis. So guys will be able to attend those. But this is our mini class with cameras and networking. All right, guys, welcome to our next mini classroom, okay? This is called the Z-Wave mini class. We're gonna bring guys in here and we're gonna teach them everything that we know about Z-Wave, how the Z-Wave hops, how to set up the mesh, how to install it, how to add it, delete it, kind of troubleshoot it and stuff like that, how it works with the panel, how it communicates. As you can see, we have some thermostats on the wall. This is our garage door opener. You know, we'll have a video for guys to watch and learn how to use it, but we'll talk about basic stuff on the garage door opener. We have door locks with pedestals. Guys can come in here and actually mount the deadbolt or the handles on the wall, but You know, we're going to go through a lot of instructional stuff on how it works with the panel, how to learn it in, delete it, stuff like that. But we need to emphasize two important things on Z-Wave, which is an installer test mode: rediscover network and the diagnostics test. Okay. The innovation team is coming back to me saying, hey, a lot of the accounts that we see that have trouble with Z-Wave devices are devices where the technician did not do the rediscover network or the diagnostics test, okay? So we need to get in the habit of teaching guys, hey, when they run those two tests, the devices have to actually be in their proper locations, and it has to pass the rediscover network and the diagnostics test. If it does this in their proper locations, there's a high percentage chance that you will not have service calls on this, which you guys want. So we're going to put an emphasis on rediscover network and the diagnostics test. And like I said, we got to get techs out of the habit of doing it right there by the panel, or doing installer test, then installing the Z-Wave devices after and learning them in. These two tests have to be run the proper way with them in the proper location. But like I said, this is the Z-Wave class. I think it's going to be very good for guys to actually do. And this is it. So let's move on to the next one. All right, this classroom in here is actually not a required mini class. This is something that you and your techs can actually come in and use, or they can come down here. As you can see, we just have sky panels on the wall. This is basically, a tech can come in, get alarm equipment, go through some practice of programming it, see how it works and stuff like that. So this is basically a review of how the system works, how to do customer instructions, how to program the panel. So this is something where they can just come and practice what they've learned, or review, or strengthen their knowledge, or do whatever they need to do. So this classroom is just a programming classroom. It's not a required mini class. It's just something for you to bring your guys in and actually do some work with them with the sky panel. And that's it. This room is going to be a mini class that is going to be required. We're going to bring guys in here and we're going to teach them how to actually install each alarm device, or give them ideas, or walk through it, give them information. As you can see, we don't have a door in here, but we have 2x4s up here. And guys can actually come in and see how to drill these holes, how the DW20 goes in there. We have a window in here so that we can review, you know, how the DW10 goes in and stuff like that. We can hang motions, smoke detectors, glass breaks. We can go over how to program them, how they install, how they work, the range on the glass break. We're going to break these devices down, talk about them, let them understand the loop numbers, how they work, kind of scenarios that they need to look for when they're installing them. As you can see, we can run some wires for the panels. This is actually kind of cool, so they can kind of see how inside a wall looks, how their wires actually run up and down, if they're using a glow rod or a chain, and stuff like that. But this is called, where we're going to review the alarm peripheral devices. Basic installation, basic setup, scenarios and stuff like that. So this is actually a pretty cool room. Guys use it quite a bit because they can drill holes, use a drill, get comfortable with it. It's pretty cool. So this is the peripheral alarm mini class. Let's move into another room and look at it. All right, welcome to this room right here. This is not a required class right here. This is a room that technicians can come into, or an office, or a head tech can bring some guys in here. As you can see, we have some hardwired takeover systems here. We have equipment over here. We have some switches. So they can come in here and practice doing hardwired takeovers, okay? They learn it in corporate training number 2, but they can come in here and actually practice, get a little bit more knowledge, understanding, review on hardwired takeovers, how the takeover module works, stuff like that. Programming the take module in, understanding the serial number, how the zones and stuff work. So this is a classroom that can be used by a head tech, and a couple of his guys can come in, practice, review. It's not a required class like some of the other ones, but this is called our takeover practice room. come in, do a takeover. I have guys that are here that can help you, or the head tech can help you, but we'll come back and put the room back together, and then you can continue to use this however many times you want. All right, this room is another required mini class. This is called our home automation room, okay? We've got home automation devices set up. We have alarm peripheral set up in this room. We have a panel that's actually set up, that's actually attached to an account. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go through installer test mode so guys can see how that works. It'll go through everything. It'll run all those tests and stuff like that so they get an idea of what to do there. Plus, we're actually gonna go on, and we have a TV here, we hook a computer up to it, and we're actually gonna log onto the account, and we're gonna walk technicians through how the account works, how to set up rules, how to set up notifications. We're gonna break that down so techs have an idea, can get comfortable with how they need to explain this to the customer, how to navigate through it and stuff like that, just to give them as much information as we possibly can. So this is a mini class that is required called the home automation class. All right guys, to conclude your tour here, we're gonna do it in front of our all-time operations managers and our all-time top installers. These guys have gone through everything to get on this board and stuff like that. But to conclude, I just want to summarize a few things. So just remember, there are 3 corporate classes that a technician needs to take, okay? And then outside of those corporate classes are 5 mini classes, okay? Mini class 1 is HVAC. Mini class 2 is our camera networking class. Mini class 3 would be our Z-Wave class. Mini class 4 is going to be the alarm peripheral installation class. And then the 5th class is the home automation devices, okay? Now, we feel as a department, that's about 12 to 15 hours of training right there that a tech is gonna go to these classroom settings and these lectures and these hands-on experience, okay? We're also gonna require techs to get on at least 3 to 5 jobs in shadow, okay? We feel if they'll get on 3 to 5 jobs, that's another 12 to 15 hours of training that they're actually gonna be able to get on, okay? So we're looking at about 30 hours right there. We also feel that outside of that, as you hold meetings and other training things that you want to talk, is another additional 10 hours, which equals what we feel is about 40 hours of training that a first-year tech needs to go through, okay? This is how he is gonna earn his $300 training bonus, is when he goes through these trainings and stuff like that. So what you're gonna need to do is, before technicians start their training, you're talking to them about the pay, you're talking to them about the work, get them into one stop, let's get them signed, let's get the proper papers filled out, let's get them their username and password for Workday, and before they start training, you're gonna need to teach them how to log on to Workday, and they're gonna log in when they attend these training classes, okay? Or your meetings, or whatever it's gonna be. We're gonna have it structured so that they can pick training on Workday, and then when they're done, they log out. And so we're gonna track their hours through Workday, and they pick training. So like I said, it's about 40 hours. They're gonna have to track it through Workday, so you're gonna wanna make sure before you start sending guys that they're signed, they have that username and password, and employee badge number, okay? About 40 hours. Hopefully by then, however long time, if it's 2 weeks, if it's 3 weeks or 4 months, these guys are ready to start installing. Now I can guarantee this, the more time you spend training, the better your summer is going to start off with these technicians, because they're gonna be better equipped, better trained, and it's gonna be a smoother transition for a lot of you if you focus on this. Now there is a pass-off sheet that you can actually track these guys with. I don't know if it's gonna be manual or if it's gonna be hands-on, but we're gonna get that to you, okay? But like I said, if you're outside of this facility and you're by Minnesota, you're by Florida, you're by Rexburg, Cedar City, or up in Canada, you gotta get creative with the regional. Figure out how you can accomplish these things and these key points to get your guys trained and equipped and ready to start the summer, or even ready to start installing a couple weeks later. So if you have any questions, email me. But I hope this information video has been helpful to get you started. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you.